Hello everyone, welcome back to Bonsai Expression. I'm Christoph and we are back for part 2 of the summer bonsai tour. So, as you can see, all the trees are out and I believe we got up to the Chinese elm corner. So, let's get back into it. Without further ado, we will carry on with my tour. Now, I believe we got up to here. I was talking about my trees just over in the corner and we got up to the oak. So now we're going to move on over to bonsais over here, which are all my Chinese elms. So if you have a look, as you can see, I've got quite a few of them, just all as a nice little display. So first of all, I'm going to start with what I called Chinese elm Elmo. So again, if you have a look on my little tags, last year I did the root work on this little bad boy. Now this one, unfortunately, was a victim of them storms. I think it was Storm Dara actually. This one was potted up in my nice little small barrel pot. If you remember and you go back to the video, it was knocked off by Storm Dara in the polytunnel. It fell off the shelf, so I had to do an emergency repot and I put it in this lovely koi pot. Wow, it was actually a bowl and I made these into, this is one of them. I've got a video of this where I went to a charity shop and I found bowls and pots and I made them into bonsai pots. So just check out this pot. It's awesome. Nice little bowl actually. Pretty decent size. So now my bonsai, my Chinese Elmo, which is doing really well in its nice new home. Now, it survived the winter in this pot. I didn't really think it would survive. I thought the pot might have cracked, but it's done all right. So again, with the Chinese elms, I always overwinter them in a polytunnel or in the garage or something like that. So the pot survived and it's doing really well. I do think the tree actually suits this pot. It looks quite nice, although I originally planned for it to I originally planned for the pot to be used with one of my Tigerbat Ficuses, but it looks really nice. It's suited in there. The tree has got plenty of growth on there. It is nicely overgrown now. It's one of my S-bench trees. It's got plenty of cuts in there, but as I always say with these trees, you chop them back hard and they look after you as long as they're healthy when you do it. This tree is coming along quite nicely now. I am quite happy with this one. Moving off to the right, I've got my little Chinese elm that is developed from its own root cutting. So this here, the base of it, this is the root stock from the tree it actually came from. I'm pretty sure it came from Elmo. So this section here was the root from this tree, and then I planted it up to about here, and then the rest of this tree has actually grown from the rootstock. And now has got its own roots, so its own root system, and now it's its own tree. So if I just lift it up a little bit, put it on the white background, you can actually see what a lovely tree I've got going on there. So I'm really proud of this one. It's got a nice tree development, so that's doing really well. Next to it, this is my eBay. As you can see, this is my eBay purchase. Wasn't really happy with the purchase, but I now have a direction of where I'm going with this one. So you can see I had just at the base, so I've got the base grows up, and then I've got this mangle of branches all growing from this section here. I was going to grow it into 2 different trees, so this section here was going to be one section of tree, and then I was going to air layer the rest of it off because that is grown into a nice tree. Now I think all I'm going to do is just chop all these low branches off from the bottom. I was going to have originally intended it as a broom style for the bottom, and then the top section, as you can see, it grows lovely. It's got all the other branches on it. I was going to grow that, split it up, but I'm just going to chop all these branches off and then just grow this, just let it thicken up, do its thing, and then I will eventually just air layer it here and then have that tree just there, and then eventually grow from this and grow its own tree. But this one's doing really well also. I trimmed everything back except the branches that are left long, as you can see, I want to try and thicken those up, and then I will cut back. So you can see these are growing out. I will go and cut back, allow them to thicken up. I want to get some thickness into this tree. This little Chinese elm next to it is doing really well. This hasn't been on the channel yet, but this is a nice little one. It's got some nice chunkiness starting to develop on it, and then it splits off just here. If I get you in, and then it grows upwards into the canopy here. So the tree is starting to develop nicely. Just gonna let this develop, do its own thing. But I think this one's going to be awesome as well. So that's not been on the channel yet, but I think that'll be a lovely tree very, very soon. Just needs a wee little trim, get that into shape. This Chinese elm here hasn't, I'm just going to roll my stool up, hasn't been on the channel also, or just yet, but this, I like this one. This is grown naturally in a curly shape, so it's here like this. But the easiest way, I need to put it on the background. So this one, as you can see, looks really nice. The only point of disinterest is where on the left side of the tree you'll notice I've got one straight branch, which is this one here. It goes straight up. So I left that originally just as a sacrificial branch, but now it actually comes as part of the tree, and it looks really nice. It doesn't suit because all the other branches are nice and curly. So, but let me show you. So all the other branches are nice and curly, as you can see. But this one has grown straight up, and then all the branches have started to curl out. So I see the tree, I envision it like this, face on in the future. So I'm going to get rid of this branch right in front of us here. I'll remove this one right in front of us. I'm going to snip that off. I'll eventually snip the straight branch as well, and then I see the tree just looking something like that in the future, and that's where we'll work it. So it will eventually look like it's moving away from us, but that's how I see it going. So if I just move it down there like this, so this will be gone. It's on the wrong side. This section will be gone. I'll probably let it grow out a little bit, air layer it as well, and then try and keep this one as its own tree, because I think it's worth keeping hold of. I don't want to lose it. It's nice enough. If I spin it round, you see there's not an awful lot on this back side here of the tree, which is a shame because everything grows one way. So I think the only way to do it and to utilize the tree is either like that and then get rid of this, but you've got this straight section here which doesn't work. The rest of it works, but because it's too straight, and this sort of section here is all bendy, it looks odd. Or have it like that, and then I have to regrow a section like this just on the back side behind here, going that way, once we chop this off and this off, which I think it should do, because once we remove this sort of growth, it'll want to try and push more growth, and it'll do that, and then we can regrow it. But I think that's how it's going to look, just there like that. I think the tree is beautiful. It's nice, even though it's an S shape. The whole structure of the tree as well has grown naturally like that. It follows the flow, the whole niceness. It had one big chop here that I did, and one there as well early on, and then the rest of the tree has followed suit. So it's looking great. Moving back into the back corner, we've had this one on the channel recently. I did a cut on it. So this is my S-shaped elm. So there's a playlist for this one. Let me just put that back in there. My S-shaped elm. If I just move this tree out of the way, you can see I have got it stacked on an angle with some wood, and the right angle is just here like this. And if I look through the other trees, this is one of my other S shapes, and I talk about this in the Chinese elm video, how to master your Chinese elms. When you get your Chinese elms, you cut all your branches off, and you do your clip and grow techniques, and you can get a beautiful S shape as long as you get your branches and your branch structure down to a fine art, clip and grow, and they turn out like this. It's looking really good, fantastic. Recently had a trim. You can see the growth that's come back in already because, well, a bit of feed, not much, but a bit of feed, good watering, a whole lot of sunlight. Chinese elms love the sun. And then if we move into this one here, this is my root over rock. You can see just at the base we've got the rock there, and now the roots are starting to grip it. Lovely. I can't wait to expose this on the next repot. But again, we've got some good growth. All the roots looking great inside the tree. That branch structure is starting to develop nicely. Just needs a little trim, need to do a bit of work on that one. And then again on this one as well, same. This one's not been on the channel, but again it's in the similar sort of process as the last one with the root of a rock, but it's not got a rock. And this one has had root pruning done. It's a couple of years in development. It's got some big scarring at the front where I've chopped off the branches that it was purchased with. So a big one here, another one here as well, and then some minor ones just further up. So nice good structure. I just shuffle over a little bit so you can see. So there's my Chinese elms. This one at the back, if I just move this lovely one out the way. This one at the back, I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to go with this one. I think it needs some wire, but this has had a big chop just here. It's got a nice fat trunk, and then it grows upwards, but it does lean. So I just move that and show you, it comes out and leans. So just look, it comes up and then leans outwards. So I think this whole thing needs to come up just like that. It's like a rib cage, and I think if we get that into more of a formal upright, this thing's gonna look good. Needs a bit of wire, needs a bit of treatment, and just picking the right branches, and then you've got a nice big scarring at the front of the tree as well. So all in all, this tree is looking good. Everything just wants to curl down on it, but I think a bit of work. I did put just a tiny little bit of wire on because it curled so badly. I wanted to try and get it up in the air a little bit, but again, that's only because I had some wire left over. But the whole thing needs a proper good wire just to keep it in check, get it up straightened. But I think this has got so much potential. I need to do a video on this one shortly. Get it up there, get it on the video, get it on the YouTubes so you guys can see it, see where we're going with it. So let's put this one back in place. Let's move that to one side. But yeah, that is really good potential tree. So that is my Chinese elms, well, most of them just sat in the corner. And if we work our way into this section now, we've got one of the Chinese privets we split, and you can see this is doing really well so far. It is shooting out with lots of growth. I'm not going to do much pruning on this. The only thing it really does need doing is just aiming more towards the sun. I did rotate it. As you can see, it was facing the sun and it's all grown towards the sun that way. So I've changed it round, and now the sun is over on this side here where my glove is. So this is now the sun. So hopefully it's going to grow that way. Just probably needs a little bit of coaxing for that to go the other way. But Chinese privet, English privet, sorry, doing really well. I've got a pyracantha, which was a cutting. She's doing really well. I mean, just look at all them flowers. So, little pyracantha. I like this one. This probably could have done with a pot this year. It should be this way. Just needs potting up that way like that. And then, job's good. But this is great. Attracts all my bees. I like getting bees into the garden, all my pollinators. I've got a couple of apple trees, so I am desperate for pollinators, and luckily enough this garden has plenty of them. So I've got so many more apples this year on my apple trees than I did last year. I struggled with pollinators in the last garden last year, where I am so hopeful to get more apples, and I've got so many more this year. Fingers crossed, I should have lots of delicious apples. My Chinese privet, one of them. So this is doing really well, except most of the growth is up top, so I have to trim this back and hopefully force some growth down bottom. These branches are dead, as you can see. They are dead at the bottom. Cold snap, got those two, but I've got that branch there, it's doing really well, and then everything else is just up top. So we need to look at trimming that back, forcing the growth back down to the lower branches. Hopefully we can get some. So I just need to remove those branches completely off, and hopefully we'll force, let's put that back in there. Yeah, so just snip them off completely. Hopefully force the growth back lower down as well with a little trim, as everything's there. But overall, that's doing really well. Also, the other Chinese privet we worked on, the last year's growth that we pruned around and left on, that's doing enough photosynthesizing to get new growth. So now we've got new growth. Hopefully we've got some of the other branches that fought and died off. Look like they may have died off, but I've got growth coming in around it, so hopefully that's doing well. I say every time I work on these ligustrums, the Chinese ligustrums, they always have this little shock period, as you can tell, and then they flush with growth. So again, another week or so, more back budding. I'll see where it comes, and then I'll come in and trim off any dead bits that's left there. But overall, this one's doing really well as well. Also, I've got one of the cuttings that I just up potted it, and again, that's got fresh new growth coming in. So all I did was basically slip pot this, chop the bottom off because it had loads of roots that was all soggy, and then slip potted it. This one's doing well. Got more back buds there as well. So yeah, that one's not really a tree as such, just in its development. This is the Elix, or Elix, however you pronounce it, which was a triple trunk, and it was, I think, like this, but one of the third trunks has died. So now I'm going to go with a twin trunk, and this is going to be the front there, so I'm just going to get rid of that bit. But I think I actually prefer it as a twin trunk. It looks really nice, so that's going to be how it looks. So yeah, that's doing that well. It's doing a lot better now. This part has died off anyway. All the growth has gone into those other remaining trunks, doing so much better. I've got the small Japanese maple, that's what it was called on YouTube, on my playlist. The small Japanese maple, and the roots were done this year. Now I think this is an emperor maple, if I remember, but this has just shot out with loads of new growth. It's doing quite well. Let's just slide it out a little bit. So as you can see, this is doing really well. It's got loads of new growth in it. Just waiting for it to put some growth underneath there, because it's still all in one section, unfortunately. So hopefully it can bud out underneath. Now as you see, this is my new shaded area. As I said, the bigger trees are behind it. The problem I was having, and I will show you in terms of this tree here. So the problems I was having, and this got the brunt of it. So this is my grey pearl larch. So this kept popping out in growth, as you can see, everything pushed, and then it would die back straight away, instantaneously, because my garden gets absolutely no shade. Now, as you can see, whoops, we are in full sun all the way down here. And the only shade I could manage to get is if I get my trees to grow out and then stuff them right under there in the shade as much as possible. So my maples, as they were getting back, I put them under the big trees that were there. I will make ashes here, and unfortunately this is one of them that has managed to do that. It kept getting burned by the sun because the sun is so hot here as I'm standing here, and the other one as well that seems to have gotten affected with it, and it probably might be completely dead as well, is the Cotoneaster, which is the root over statue, the S-shaped one, which is here as well. So that one and the larch, now it still has green on it, I've not tested the Cotoneaster as of yet, but the larch is still green, although it's got plenty of dieback and everything keeps dying back on it. It is still alive, but I've put it right under my 2 ash trees to try and protect it from the sun, because the sun is a scorcher here where I'm currently living. Hence why my maples are right under the other trees as well. So anything that got repot, I tried to put under any of the trees I could. Also, while we're on the subject, I'm just going to swing back round here. You'll notice that under the bench, my Japanese larch forest is under the bench, because the same thing happened to that. 2 of the trees got completely fried and they are looking like this. So I want to show you the honest truth of what happens here at Bonsai Expression. So 2 of the trees, they're still alive, but they're struggling to put out some growth. Another one of the trees right at the back there, and the other ones as well that happened to them. Now the other ones have all recovered fully because they're under shade, so they get partial sun now. Everything else is okay, as I say, on this one, but them 2 hopefully will recover. If not, I've still got the same odd number of trees in this planting, but I would lose 2, which I don't really, you know, it would suck. Nobody likes losing trees, but it's one of the effects of moving to a new location and finding out. As you can see, there's my shadow. I am in full sun and I'm actually sweating now because I've still got my jumper on. I took it off before because the sun went in behind the clouds, and now sun's back out again and there's no shade, as I say. So this is the thing I'm finding out. Got to find out what trees can cope with sun, what can, and then this is obviously, the larches are obviously not being able to cope. The maples, when they've done the repots, they've not been able to cope. Obviously they need a lot of shade, and obviously the Cotoneaster's not coped either. That's completely perished. Moving up, we'll move back up into this section. One of the Chinese elms, which I ended up doing, which I call do-over. I did a full video on this, and then it corrupted, so I didn't put it out, but I have spoken about it. This is doing really well, actually. I just need to cut this section off, as I was mentioning. So this is going to be the pad on the left side. Excuse me. So I just need to cut this top section off when we work on it. This bit, so that's going to be non-existent. And then we work up, and then that section there will be the leader, and it's going to be a really nice little tree. It's going to go up, pad, it's going to go up, continue into that section, pad over here. But it's looking nice. Proud of that one. Again, it's doing all right. My original oak from the boot sale that I got a couple of years back, so this is getting quite nicely fat. You can see actually how quickly this is filled out of the base. It's actually got nice little cracks. It's swelling up quite nicely. Again, this camera, I've got it on one of the setting I've got it on actually doesn't do it justice for how fat this actually is. So it's quite wide. I don't know, like 6 centimeters wide at the moment at the base, and then goes up. But you can just see how quickly the base goes up. Well, it's got a nice spread at the bottom, nice nubari, and then it goes up. I've got this nice first branch just here. And as we move up, I've got this branch here and here, and then I've left this leader to grow up. It is starting to keel over a little bit, but again, I've got a nice basic structure for my oak. So after all the few cuts I've done, getting it into the right sections and thinking about where I'm going, this is now starting to get into the right position. I probably do need to wrap another bit more wire on it and then get this further up into the right position, because it keeps, as it gets, there we go, as it gets heavier and heavier up top, it starts bringing it back down. If anything, I could probably cut it here if I wanted to make another cut, and then allow that one to start off as leader. But again, I want to thicken it up, so there's no real point in that. Just need to put a bit more wire on, I think. That's coming on really nicely. Yeah, it's nice small, but I want to get it a bit taller. It is an oak after all. Oaks need to be a little bit bigger. This is the sort of height I'd like to keep it, round about there. My twin trunk Chinese elm. I did say I've got a few more Chinese elms coming along, so let me see if I can get a wider angle for you. There we go, that was a bit better. So yeah, this is looking really nice. I'll get you back in there proper. That's coming along nicely. Just needs a trim, get it sorted out. My marmee that we worked on recently, put it in. Some cobwebs. I'm going to let that grow a little bit, nothing major, just tiny little bit, just to thicken up some of these, and then I'll trim it back a little bit again and get it back into shape. My hibiscus just at the back there, that is coming along fantastically considering the chops I did last year. It's looking rather nice all the way around. There you go. Yeah. Give this side a bit of sun. There we go. Another Chinese elm that's not been on the channel, but this one is proper corky. Look at this. This might even be a corkbark elm, I'm not sure. But the bark on this one is really corky. I like this. It's all flaking off at the bottom. It just literally falls off. Oh, some weeds there. Yeah, it's, I don't know what sort of elm this is. It might even be just generally an old elm, but the bark itself is really corky. It's cool. I like it. It's troublesome because of the way it is. It's had big cuts, but it's starting to come along nicely. Realistically, it's probably somewhere like that for the front. I don't know, maybe even on the side, but it just looks gnarly, and the front is not the front. It might even be there, something like that. Comes across, comes off left, goes up into there, but it needs a bit of trim. It needs working on. Yeah, let's leave it like that. Let's turn it round. Let's get the sun this way. Let's get some branching on this way. Over here, look at this. This is my cheap, very cheap European forest. Oh, sorry, I'm being attacked by all sorts of ash branches. So this is my forest that we worked on, and this is the video that's in the playlist. And this is the forest that I said, let's see if I could make a forest planting with basically no money. So Facebook Marketplace purchase for like £2.50 or something like that. Trees that were like, again, £2.50, my soil. And this is the magic of basically Povo spec bonsai. Can you make it cheap? And all my trees survived in there as well. I had one tree left over as well, and surprisingly the one tree that was left over that I put in a pot, that was the only one that died. Everything else in this planting of European hornbeams, absolutely fantastic. I'm really liking this. So these are doing really well. Fantastic. So just showing bonsai on the cheap. Yes, you can do it. Yes, it can look good, and it's doing really well. I think this is in the second year now, and my leaves are all covered in pigeon poo because them two pigeons that I've got in here are driving me mad. Over here in the corner, let me just get in. This is my hornbeam. No, it's not hornbeam, it's a hawthorn, sorry. So this is the hawthorn where I did the big snap down there, like a crazy person that I am. Didn't realise how brittle they were. Let's see if I can move. But this is looking gnarly. I absolutely love this tree. This is cool. This is coming along quite nicely. It's recovering nicely from the root chop. Just look at it, it's cool. So this is going to be the semi-cascade. Let me see if I can just move my camera into a different angle for you. So semi-cascade, it's looking nice. All different angles. Now there's Hoot. So we've got the two ashes, they're growing up nicely. So if I move out the way, you can see the nice structure at the base of these two ashes. So my idea with these is just to let them grow again a bit, get a bit more thickness on the trunks, and then I'll do a heavy cutback probably in a month on these two. I'll do a video on them. But these grow really fast, really quick. They're literally like the weed of tree world over in England. They're like a dime a dozen, they're everywhere. They self-seed dead quickly as well. I've got just a little seedling of a maple planted up last year, and it survived over over Christmas and winter. My 15p maple. Just look at this bad boy. Let's check this out. My 15p maple, the original, the OG 15p maple. Doing really well. Look at that. What more can be said? Sucks for Asda. Shouldn't have sold it, you dafties. Because now, I am making something special like that. And hoot number 2, look at that. Who's looking after my maple? Hoot's offspring. My Sarissa. Tree of 1,000 stars. Or 1,000,000 stars. Or in this case, probably maybe a 50. Well, this one's looking cool. My missus absolutely loves my tree of 1,000 stars. This is her favourite tree. And for me, it's coming along quite nicely. It looks lovely. It's just starting to fill out again now. All I need now is this back section here, just to get a bit more development, get a bit more fluffy, so it can pad out nice and round, fill out, so it's nice and rounded. And then I can do the same over here. So the tree is actually round in section, but I don't think that's going to be too long now. But that is looking quite nice. Then we've got the other Japanese maple. So which one is this called? This is an Emperor maple. This is the one I rescued. And if we remember, I did a cut just there on it, because it had a long shoot here as well, so it's free. This one is coming on quite nicely as well. Still quite skinny, but that's the whole point of us putting it in these pond baskets to thicken up. So I've got the first branch just down here. I've got a nice back branch, which is nicely here. And then we've got the apex. I do love the colour of this one. So let's just put all these trees back. Over here we've got my other 15p maple, which is a butterfly maple. This one, again, lovely and healthy. The shade doing it really well. I've got a another Chinese elm just down here. This is just a spare one that I've got. It was in the Chinese elm video. It's more of a runt of the litter than anything. Just in the back here, I've got a fig tree just growing, so nice little fig tree. Hopefully I'll get some figs this year. I got some last year, but I didn't eat any of them because I wasn't sure what time of the year to prune them, when they were ripe or anything like that, so I didn't eat them. And then we've got my big pyracantha. Now, I noticed before when I was looking at it, it looks like I need to do some bug work, because if I just zoom in there, getting even closer, look at that. And down at the bottom as well, we have a bit of a bug infestation. So yeah, gonna have to work on that in the next day or two. Bloody bugs. But this one is doing really well. I've just let it grow up and it is put on a massive amount of growth. I'll come around and have a look at proper to it as well. We have a plum tree. So in the storms, this plum tree actually snapped clean off at the base. Look at that. I know it's not bonsai related, but it snapped clean off at the base and it's now growing up to be nice and healthy. So I've got a nice big plum tree. We've got the pomegranate. Now the pomegranate has been weird this year. It's not shot out. It was usually long and leggy, but yeah, everything's really compact this year. A bit strange. And then we've got my fusion ficus just over here. Look at this. And this thing is getting nice and fat. Loving it. Just look at the trunk on that. This thing is lovely. Just need to clean up some old stumps, and then we come up into the main part of the tree. Need to do a little trim on this because it's out of shape, but the thing is a world of awesomeness. Oh, a nice tree, looking great. I know Nigel Saunders has got some really good ficus trees. I'm hoping this one can at least look a little bit like his. They'll never be quite as good as Nigel's. He's been going for some time looking after his trees, but you know, it's getting there. It's doing quite well. If you get in, it's got all the nice branch work as well, nice branch structure. So yeah, hopefully I can be on the road to being a good tree. Another cutting of a tigerbark ficus just there, and then we've got the windswept tigerbark ficus, which unfortunately I've had one of the branches die off and it's come apart, so that top branch just there has died off, which sucks. But everything else on this one, again, really healthy. I've just let it grow out a little bit, get some more vigor in, because obviously with that one dying off, pretty sure this might die off as well, but I'm probably going to lose this one. This one's never been too strong. But this tree, really healthy, loads of growth. Just at the base over here, hopefully I've got a larch growing. I've got a couple of more tigerbark ficus cuttings, and then here is one of my lovely, this is my original apple tree. So if you check it out, I've got apples galore this year, because this place where I'm now situated, so this new location, I've got plenty of pollinators, so I'm going to have lots and lots of apples. I've also got another apple tree just over here. This is a Granny Smith apple tree, and I've got lots of Granny Smith apples as well. So just goes to show, if you've got pollinators in your area and you've got fruit trees, you get some good fruit trees. Lots of fruit. Now, the larch that I bought, the big one, same reason again. I am in the sun, as you can see. Shadow, casting it. Hi everybody. I had the same issue. Look at it, fried off. Although I've got new growth at the top. Same again, fried off, but we have new growth coming in again. Same again, but we've got new growth. We'll just bend it back. So this has happened all over on this tree. There again, but again, got some new growth. Unfortunately, there's not an awful lot I can do. I don't have any shade, and that's the shame. But the top, they are apex dominant larch trees, so the top is done really well, but I need to try and force some of that growth down into the lower sections, which is down here. Now, I have thought about it, and I'm not 100% sure. I'm still considering it, maybe for next year or the year after, but air layering it, taking this off, and having a nice tree, and then maybe doing something with the rest of the tree, because they don't tend to backbud into hardwood, so I've been led to believe. But I'm going to still see, I'll wait and see, give it time, and see what we can do with this tree first before I make that decision. But the top section, just here, I'll make a lovely tree. It's really nice. I have done a couple more adjustments to it as well in the meantime. I took another branch off just here, and I have taken one out just at the end, just here. Overall, giving it a better silhouette, better shape, and yeah, there was just a couple of branches that needed adjusting. I think I need to do the same with maybe just here as well. They are a bit close, just need to adjust the branches, but I'm not going to do too much more. I want to let it still recover. It is still in the recovery section. I took a big branch off just in here as well. That's what I said. Overall, the tree's doing well-ish. I'm hoping I'll give it a little bit of feed this week as well, so hopefully, I know with these end bits are coming in, it can try and flush some growth backwards as well. Got another Japanese holly just here. So these are just cheap purchases I bought from local garden centres, local shopping centres as rescue trees, and I've had done big snips and chops, just messing about with them, as they were just all overgrown and tangled and everything there. So yeah, we'll see what we can do with them. Nothing majorly important, play about with trees. So as I say, this is my big pyracantha we were just talking about, and it's put on so much growth. I just wanted to make sure it was really healthy before I went in there and did anything. But as I was saying in previous video, I've got to get in there and make a decision with that branch right there. It is starting to swell up already, so it's got to be removed. And I need to also get in there. Around the back, we've just had a look. We've got bugs that I need to spray for, so I think I'll do that at the end of this video rather than a full video on it. The earlier the better. There's my other English privet, it's doing well. So where's all the feed? I've just done on it. So the English privet's doing well. It's got loads of nice new growth on it. Let's give it a spin, make sure we've got an even distribution of sunshine. Portuguese laurel, I've not seen anybody do a Portuguese laurel, and this one has recovered nicely from the repot last year, and it's put on so much growth. Look at it, it's all healthy. So trim is in need. We need to cut right back, start doing some proper bonsai work on it, but I'm really digging this. Look at the colour. So these are really nice green colour, and they've got this lovely colour on the branches as they are brand new, and then as they start going, they've got like a yellow tips to them as well. So it's just a really nice example of something that's different. So these are used as hedging over in the UK. I've never seen anyone do anything with them. I've also got a couple of it's self-seeded, some more trees, and they're in the pot over there. So I've got some little ones to play with as well. The cherry tree, that was a root. It's doing well. I forgot to repot it this year, so that is all here, still doing really well. Kojo no Mai, that's alive, doing well so far. It's got a bit of new growth, but it's all at the top end, so it needs cutting back. My bendy ginkgo, as you can see, lots of growth on it. Do love these trees. Oh, it's got so much character, the ginkgo. Absolutely love these trees, they're beautiful. And then just next to that on the other side, if I just turn this round, this is my Japanese larch, which I need to decide what I'm going to do with it. I keep saying I'm going to airlayer it here, I'm going to airlayer it there, but I'm not sure. I think what I should probably really do with it is just airlayer this section off, have a formal upright, and then go for a cascade. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave this for another year, and then I will do it as it gets thicker. But yeah, this is very healthy. Love this tree. I didn't show you, but if I can just move out the way, this is my golden larch forest. Unfortunately, one of the trees at the back, just over that side there, has died off. As you can see it there, died off over the winter, and the rest of them are okay. So that's four larches, golden larch. So I think I might just go to a garden centre and see if I can get a small lot of larches and drop them in, and yeah, maybe improve that planting. The copper beech doesn't want to die still, but it's growing on one side, which is all this side. It's still hanging on there, so it was struggling. I did a repot on it, and then it fell out the pot in the storms, and I thought it was completely dead, but no, it's still doing better even after all that than it did last year, because last year it didn't do anything for 18 months, not one leaf. But it's put some growth out this year, and this side is still not dead, so I'm still hopeful on this one. We are 2 years down the line, and we've got more growth out this year than we ever have. My Mugo pines just at the back, that are my experiment into Mugo pines. I've never had them before, and then after I'm trying to keep these alive for a bit, I decided to buy them ones from the boot sale. So yeah, we're doing good. Let me just move these ones out the way. We have the S-shape pyracantha. So again, this was scorched with the heat, but it is recovering. We've got new growth in bits and places. As you can see, it isn't looking too good, but the new growth is starting to come in. I've tucked it right back in here with all the shade, just so it can recover. Let me get you in there as best as I can. So you can see right in the middle there, I've got a new shoot right at the ends. So new shoots are coming in, so I'm not too concerned. We did a lot of root pruning, but then it got scorched, so it set it back. But yes, I am not too concerned. It's coming in. I've got a pyracantha over here as well, another one with a big chop, and then it grows all the way up with all the nice flowers. So I'm letting that grow up so it can transition from the big thick chop, which is pretty thick, although the camera doesn't show it off. Let me show you, just down there, and then it goes up. So I want to transition that a bit thicker. Now if I move you out a little bit onto over this section, let me just take a step back. I've got a couple more trees. So I've got a couple of Christmas trees that I use over Christmas, obviously. And then we have my maples that we've recently worked on. So this is the mysterious maple that we had. I didn't know what it was, what sort of type it is. I think it might be an emperor, sorry, which I had in the back of the polytunnel, and it was massive. It went woo all the way up there, and we did a big chop, as you can see. So it's healthy, it's shooting out, it's doing really well. And then the one next to it, which is this one here. So this is the one that I thought was a what did I think it was? Them bright red ones. I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, I thought it was one of them, and I don't think it is. It could well be, but I'm not sure. DeSojo. I thought it was a DeSojo maple, but they don't seem to be bright red all the time, so it could. I'm not sure what one it is, but I thought it was a rescue one, and it's a rescued, but it's also got a horrible, let me get in there. It's got a horrible thing on it. There you go. It's got a horrible graft. So I just planted it up and let it grow, let it get thicker. And then over here we've got my Suki Nagashi, which you can see is put on lots of growth, and the structure itself is looking nice. Let me get you in. The tree itself, it's got, the base is looking quite nice as well. I'll kind of zoom in a little bit. Base is looking quite nice. It's getting really thick now. That's doing really well. Quite happy with that. And then if we move into this section over here, I've got Chinese elm. Again, this Chinese elm was a cutting. And then I've just let this grow up. I just want to get this bigger, put some decent size on it. I've got a couple of tigerbark ficuses that are all cuttings, as you can see over on there. And then this one is another Chinese elm that's in a big pot. I just want to let this grow up. Again, this, again, as you can see, it goes all the way up. And it clashes with my tree, my apple tree, which is, as I say, here. Look at the apples for this year. Nice. So, some more tigerbark ficus, and then we've got the S-shaped tigerbark ficus, which we worked on, and we left the nice big aerial roots growing. So this has put on loads of growth. As you can see, you can't really see the tree now for the leaves, but just in there is the tree. There you go, look at it. Oh, beautiful. So again, they need some work. I've just let them grow, get healthy in this new premises. And then we've got the other, I don't think I labelled this one. This is the rescued one, the one that we worked on. I think the beginner's guide, I think I called it, something like that. It's doing well. My plan for this one is to grow this one down here like that, bring it down, sweep it along, give it a good view. I want to get this one, I want to build it, I want to build a big tree out of this one. I don't want to just to keep it compact, I want to sweep it back a little bit, have it up. Yeah, that's my plan for that. So just here, as I say, these are the Portuguese laurels that I've got. They're self-seeded, so I've got a couple to play with them if I wanted to. I always try and get some what are these? Ginkgos. I always try and plant some ginkgos, some cuttings. So a couple more were there, and they always fail. So this is the closest one I've got. I had 4 in here, and this is the last one. So I'm hoping I get it. I want some more ginkgos really badly. My lemon from seed is doing well. This is my last lemon from seed. My others, unfortunately, with the last lot of trees, got stolen. Would really want them back, but hey ho. So lemon from seed. This one's doing really well. I love it. And these, oh, smell amazing. Stubby, take about ficus. Looking good. Look at all that new fresh growth. Oh, that's the beginner's bonsai. There we go. There it is in that fresh, awesome pot. Looking fan-dabby-dozer. Now this is a big failure. You'll remember this one. So this was my larch. And just look at the state of it. Look at it. Not gonna do too much. Although it is dead all the way to here, this little section is alive. So I'm just leaving it, but all these roots are mangled and it's, yeah, I think I tightened, not only did I take too much root off, I tightened this in a bit too tight, so these roots died off. I've unclipped it, snipped it. I'm just going to leave it and see if anything comes of it. But I'm not hopeful. I've got a gum tree, and then just over here, let me walk you past around here. This is my Buddhist pine. Now, it was a big S shape. It died back, and I cut it to here. I've peeled it, give it a little burn, and then this is growing off. Now this year, for the first time in 2 years after it died back, I have finally got growth. Now I am so happy with, I am so happy with this. First time in 2 years I've seen brand new growth on this tree. Buddhist pine. It's got growth. I'm happy. Pyracantha, doing really well. Got some Tony asters, some more little snippets, helix, Japanese holly, honeysuckle, I think that is down there. I think that's what it's called. And then we've got hawthorns, hibiscus cutting. We have no Chinese elm, Japanese holly, Chinese elm. I've got an oak cutting, Tony aster, Chinese elm, helix, another Chinese elm just over here. And then just on this section here, I've got a Chinese elm that has gone into a cascade. And then another Chinese elm that I'm going to work on here. And then this tree here, I'm pretty sure could be the peach tree. Not 100% sure. But again, had a bit of disaster in the storm. That snapped. And then another branch here that snapped as well. But generally, this is my collection. And everything, well, pretty much everything is doing well. Apart from, as I say, a couple of trees that have been singed. That one, where is it? That one, just there. That one just there. Two larch in there. And then my big larch here with the sun. But again, these are learning processes in a new house. So everything's doing really well, apart from the odd tree. Again, I don't really get much shade, which is a shame, because when I do my repots, I need to protect them. And yeah, it's called, as you can see, I'm in full sun again, and it's like 5:30 now. So that's all my trees. That's everything I've got. A couple of them I might end up losing, but I'm still going to try and take care and see if we can get them back to full health. If not, I will let you know. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the last 2 videos, and if you did enjoy, please do stick around with the channel, give it a thumbs up, and please do subscribe. 60% of you guys haven't subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please do tell me why. Let me know what I can do better. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I'm out. Gotta go get some tea. I'm absolutely sweating. See you later, everyone. Have a good day.